If you're here today, you're at that exciting point in your crochet journey where designing garment patterns is calling to you. If you find yourself constantly thinking about writing and selling your crochet garment patterns professionally as a crochet designer, then this video is for you. Designing crochet garments is one of the most rewarding experiences. There's something magical about creating a wearable from scratch that others all around the world will crochet with help from your pattern. So many aspiring designers start full of excitement only to hit great walls of frustration. You frog again and again for days, for weeks, maybe even months just to get the fit and the sizes right. You try and do the math, but it all seems so confusing. Some aspiring designers even quit because the whole process is so overwhelming. This is why I want to share my experience as a crochet designer who's designed almost 100, maybe more patterns depending on the time that you're watching this video. This video is actually a precursor to my 8 steps to design and write your crochet garment pattern in multiple sizes to sell. So I'm going to leave a link for that video in the description box below. I was actually going to include what I say in this video in the 8 steps video, but it was becoming too long, so I decided to create a precursor video so that I can tell you everything I want to. I will also answer some of the most common questions that you ask me, and I have notes on my phone, so I'm going to keep looking at them. So before we do anything else today, I want you to answer this very important question. Why do you want to design garment patterns? Why do you want to write and sell your own garment pattern? If you don't have an answer, it's very easy to lose interest along the way or to feel overwhelmed and feel like quitting. Designing a pattern is not rocket science, but it definitely takes effort and commitment like anything else that is worth doing in life. So when things get tough, and they will sooner or later, then having a strong why will keep you motivated and will make all the difference. I design crochet patterns to bring joy to others, especially when they need it. I also design to bring my ideas into the world and to leave a lasting legacy. If you know me, you also know that it is very important to me that I wake up every day to do what I love. Each pattern I create carries a piece of me in it, and nothing brings me more joy than to see someone bring it to life. So if you want some help with finding your why, I have a free worksheet, so I will link it in the description box below, the Find Your Why as a Designer worksheet. I suggest you fill it in sincerely and then keep it somewhere where it is visible. Every time you need some motivation, all you have to do is read it and you're good to go. The first thing that I'm going to talk about today is made to measure versus already graded patterns. This is something you all ask me often. Let us first define what are already graded patterns and what are made to measure patterns. Already graded patterns are what you see in magazines and from professional designers. So they come in sizes XS to 5XL. And the pattern is written out completely. It includes stitch counts, row counts, and chains for every size. So what are made to measure patterns? These ask the crocheter to measure themselves and to adjust the pattern as per their body shape and size, and the pattern does not have any preset numbers. Let's talk about the pros and cons of already graded patterns first. So this is best for designers who want to sell their pattern professionally or get it published in magazines. Especially important for garments like tops, cardigans and sweaters. So this is also the industry standard. Why? Because of 3 main reasons. Number 1, ease for makers. Crocheters love it when they can just pick up the pattern and crochet with no math or decisions involved. So there's no confusion and they don't have to reach out to you for any help. Number 2, professional requirements. So magazine and yarn company usually require already graded patterns by you in multiple sizes. So number 3, it establishes your credibility. When crocheters see that your pattern has all the sizes, they feel confident and they trust you. They feel that you understand sizing and this sets you apart from the other designers. So now what is the downside? You already know this. It is going to take us longer to calculate and do all the math for all the sizes. This process can be made faster though with the help of spreadsheets. In the long run, this process always saves time. You'll get lesser customer questions. The testing will go smoother for your pattern, and you will get more 5-star reviews because people will be happy because they are able to easily complete their pattern. So now let's discuss made to measure patterns, the pros and the cons. So why do designers use this method? You don't have to do the math, and also you can guide the crocheter how to exactly make the pattern according to their body shape and size. So it is customized. But there are some downsides to this. Beginner makers struggle without stitch counts. They feel confused by taking measurements and doing the math on their own. So they will reach out to you often for customer service. You may end up doing the math anyway. I learned this the hard way. I'll tell you about it in a second. And this is going to take up a lot of time. Your patterns feel less professional than other graded patterns. So I actually made the mistake of making a made to measure hat when I had just started designing, and I started getting people reaching out for help. So they wanted to know the exact stitch counts for their size, and I used to do the math for them individually. Then over time I realized that I should just grade the pattern, which is exactly what I did, and what happened after that was amazing. People stopped reaching out to me, and also they started leaving 5-star reviews saying how easy my pattern was to create. So that's when it clicked for me. The clearer the pattern, the more the people will finish it, the happier they will be, and the better reviews they will leave. So the bottom line is, if you want to grow as a professional crochet designer, focus on already graded patterns. They'll build your credibility, help makers succeed, and open the doors for collaboration with magazines and yarn companies. You can still add a customization tip area or a made to measure area where anyone who wants to use the method is free to do so. This also saves you a lot of time from having to redo the pattern in the future. When I had to go back to my hat pattern, I had to remember my thought process and see all my notes, so it's always easier to grade as you are writing the pattern. Now the second thing I want to discuss today is the two main methods designers use to design their garments, and which one I recommend. The one you choose can make a difference between a smooth and confident process versus a process filled with frustration and frogging. So let me talk about method A first, which is the crochet first, write later method. So this is what is popularly used by many new designers. You crochet the pattern first, you take notes as you crochet it, and then you will write the pattern later. This is the method that I used to use when I first started, and this is also the method that I am never going to use again. You grab your yarn, you start crocheting, and then you figure things out as you go. There is no planning. You usually take notes as you crochet, but by the end, there's a lot of frogging. Your notes are all scratched, and some of them are even missing. This crochet first method works, but it is messy and it is time consuming. You end up remaking the same design multiple times sometimes, and this wastes your time, your energy, and your yarn. And sometimes once you finish your sample and try to grade it, you find out that it does not work as expected for other sizes, and it is very difficult to grade. So this method is like building a house without a blueprint. You might finish building the house, but it is going to take a lot of time and a lot of undoing and redoing. Some of you have told me it takes you weeks, even months, to finish one design. As professionals who want to sell our patterns, we cannot afford to take so much time on just one pattern. The more patterns we launch, the more our portfolio grows, the more ideas that we can bring into the world, and the more our income grows. So we need a process that will help us design efficiently and faster. In comes method B. This method is the write first, crochet later method. I also call it the design with intention method. So this is what I use now. This is what I will always continue to use. Instead of jumping straight to the sample, I take a day to plan my pattern first. So I start with a swatch. This square tells me everything I need to know about my pattern. From the swatch, I will get the gauge and calculate the stitch counts for my size and other sizes and make sure that it is easy to braid. So these are swatches from two recent patterns. This is the Forest Leaves Cocoon Shrug swatch, and I'm going to make a cardigan or a sweater in the same pattern. And this is a pattern that I'm going to release for a cardigan soon. So these tell me everything I need to know about the way the garment will look, the way it will drape, and it will also help me in doing the math before I even start my sample. So why do I prefer this method? This saves me time and frustration. It tells me that the design already works for all sizes and can be graded easily. I only need to crochet one sample. I can release my patterns faster, and most importantly, I feel confident as a designer. Some would say that it stops the creativity. Creating on the fly is more fun. I would say that this method helps me bring more of my ideas into the world. Which method should you choose? If you're crocheting just for fun, then designing on the fly is totally fine. If you are a beginner or a new designer, I would suggest you start planning and then crocheting your sample, because you will get into the habit of this and this will save you a lot of time and frustration in the future. So I always say that garment design is both an art and a science. The art is your vision, your ideas, the stitch that you choose, the yarn that you choose, and the science is everything that makes your vision wearable, like the math, the instructions, the measurements, and so on. So the next thing I want to talk about is swatching. You already know by now that swatching cannot be avoided. It is the foundation of garment design. So now is the perfect time to brush up on swatching and gauge before you start garment design. The reason that swatching gets a bad name is that it looks complicated, but the truth is it actually makes garment design easy and possible. Once we understand it, it is the most fun part of designing, where we create our fabric. Our swatch is like a crystal ball. It tells us everything that we need to know about our garment before we even create it. So a swatch is like a mini test for our garment pattern. It tells us how the pattern will look or how our design will look, and it also tells us gauge, and we can calculate if the design is going to work in other sizes or not. The next thing I want to talk to you about is finding and embracing your own unique voice as a designer. It's easy to look around and think that everything has already been done. There are so many sweater patterns, hat patterns, cardigan patterns, top patterns, you name it. So you may wonder, what could I possibly design that is new? This is something that you should tell yourself. No one sees crochet the way that you do. So no one has your perspective, your hands, or your creativity. This combination makes your pattern one of a kind. So when I first started designing, I wanted to create something that had never been done before. Over time, I realized all originality is expressing yourself through your designs. It's the way you make all your choices and the way you write your pattern. It's the way you style and the way you photograph your work. It's the story that you tell through your work. And the best way to find your voice is to experiment. You don't find your style just by thinking about it, you find it by doing. The more you design, the clearer your style becomes. Stop worrying about if people will like it and if you will stand out. Design because it feels right to you and you will stand out. It will connect people to your work, and this is what will make someone say, "Oh, I knew it was your design the minute I saw it." So now I want to discuss some of the popular questions that designers ask me. A question I hear all the time is, how much experience do you need to design a crochet garment? Am I ready to design a crochet garment? You don't need years of experience or advanced skills to design your garment patterns. You can absolutely create beautiful wearable designs with all the skills that you already have. If you're a beginner, you're going to create beginner patterns. And guess what? There's a huge demand for them. If you are an intermediate crocheter, you can create both beginner and intermediate patterns, whatever you want. You get the idea. You're going to design for the point in your crochet journey where you are. You definitely don't need a degree in fashion. I most definitely don't have one. I don't even know anything about fashion. The only requirement is for you to want to design and for you to want to get your ideas into the world. If you have crocheted even one garment, you know how it works and you're ready to design. Just remember that no one wished they had waited longer before they started doing something they love. So do you need to be good at math to design patterns? No, you don't need to be a maths whiz. You only need very basic math and very basic logic. So the math in designing involves addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And you can easily do all of this with just a calculator and a paper and pen. How long does it take to design a garment pattern? So this depends on your designing process, your experience level, and the complexity of your design. Your first design may take a few weeks to complete, but with a system you can definitely do this faster. I can write a garment pattern in 9 sizes in just one day from scratch with the help of a swatch and some spreadsheets. How many sizes should you include in your garment pattern as a new designer? So I see many designers making only small, medium and large size. I recommend having a full range, that is XS to 5XL at least, right from the start. So why do I recommend this? It might feel intimidating at first, yes, but it is easier than it looks. The sooner you start, the more experience you will gain in sizing and grading your patterns. You will become faster. It will also save you from having to redo old patterns when your audience starts asking you for more sizes. If you can design your garment in one size, you can use the same concept and design it in 9 sizes, so might as well do it. Multi-size patterns reach more people, they sell better, and they build more trust in your brand because makers know that your patterns are size inclusive and reliable. And you can always leave the math to spreadsheets and AI and just focus on designing the pattern. Over time, this becomes so easy, it's almost second nature. So that's it for today's video. In my next video, I'm going to walk you through the 8 steps of writing your own garment pattern in multiple sizes. I'm going to leave a link for it in the description box below, so be sure to check it out. And if you haven't already, grab the Find Your Why workbook. It's a perfect place to start your journey as a garment designer. You'll find the link in the description box below. Thank you and see you in the next video.